A woman who is referred only as Sally to protect her identity spoke with Vice about her harrowing experience as a 20-year-old working for and living with Andrew Tate as he ran a webcam sex operation in the UK. Now, as we all know, we covered this story in late December. Andrew Tate was arrested by Romanian authorities on allegations that he was trafficking humans, women in particular. But now we know that this wasn't his first run-in with the law. Back in 2015, he was arrested. Tate was arrested for an assault that Sally actually witnessed in 2015, but unfortunately the case was never prosecuted. Here is Sally sharing her story with Vice.
First night that I worked for him, Andrew bought me like 5 bottles of wine. So I got completely drunk because I'd never done webcam work. So I was very, very nervous. Then that night, we were just sitting on the bed and Andrew punched me in my arm. I went to the bathroom and cried. It really, really hurt to have someone just hit me in the arm for no reason. I was very confused. Sorry. That night we cuddled and we ended up having sex and I was really, really drunk. That was my first night.
Not only did she allegedly experience his abuse personally, she says that she also witnessed him abusing others. And she talks about that in the next video.
When we moved into the bigger apartment, that's when more girls started coming into the apartment to work for Andrew. And that's when I just witnessed so much, like verbal, physical, not just to me, but the other women involved. And it just got worse over time. Andrew would call us lazy hoes. I saw him smack girls with a belt because she wanted a lion. He used to strangle us as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure why they didn't do a thorough investigation and prosecute him for these allegations in the UK, but clearly he continued the criminality, alleged criminality in Romania and has been arrested as a result of that. A few more details. Tate repeatedly assaulted the women who worked for him, said Sally, choking her on at least 5 occasions, while she witnessed him do the same to her co-workers at least 10 times. The attacks were in keeping with the dominant, controlling pimp persona he cultivated. A poster on the walls of their workplace read, quote, "If there is ever a problem, if there is ever a glitch, Big Tate won't wait. Straight slap a bitch."
Yeah, so a lot of these guys, honestly, exclusively, of course, in the right wing, as politics is in globally these days, fall under they do make the excuse of like, well, what? I'm just running a sex business, and a lot of people run sex business, and it's true that a lot of people run webcam business, etc. It's not true that they all beat the women that are involved and sexually assault them. That is deeply illegal. And just because you're running a webcam business doesn't mean you can do that. And so he wants the credit of being famous for being a pimp, I guess, in his own mind. And he thinks pimps assault women and that's cool. And then he goes out and tries to teach other people.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the cool thing to do is violence against women.
Exactly. And look, earlier this week we had Vosh on to talk about how there was a lot of backlash toward him for wanting to address like the young male crisis in the United States, the suicidal ideation, the deaths of despair. Young men are suffering in the US. It's a real problem. It's clear in the statistics that we see. And his point in bringing that up is, listen, if the left pretends like this problem doesn't exist, if they don't take it seriously, if they don't address it, well, there's a vacuum. And that allows for people like Andrew Tate to basically grab the attention of these young men as a mentor. And this is the last person on the planet who should be a mentor.
Yeah, and where does he go in the political spectrum? Well, the left wing doesn't want anybody who abuses women and assaults them, etc. But the right wing did welcome him with open arms.
I mean, they're still providing excuses. I don't even know, like, look, obviously it's easy to suspect that they're conservative or right wingers, but it's amazing how many men are providing cover for this guy. They think it's some sort of crazy conspiracy because, oh, the feminazis don't like what he says in his videos. Listen, Romanian authorities aren't like on Twitter checking what feminists are saying and making their prosecutorial decisions on that. Okay, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah, the well-known leftists in the Romanian police.
Insane. Okay, there's one more video we're gonna get to. This one was the hardest for me to watch and listen to, but here it is. Here's more from Sally.
There was another time when he came into the bedroom, me and the other girl, we would sleep in the same bed with Andrew, but at this time the girl had a partner, so she was not interested in Andrew at all. And I had gone to the shower, I came back and I noticed he was, I saw him raping her. And when he threatened to beat me up in the bathroom, and he said, oh, I don't give a if you call the police, I'm gonna beat the out of you. That's kind of when I knew, I had to get out of there.
So if you're wondering what happened with the investigation after these allegations came out, well, Tate remained under investigation but was released by the police, after which he appeared as a contestant on a reality show, Big Brother, in 2016. Producers were informed by police of the ongoing investigation, but kept him on the show for 5 days before finally removing him. During that time, he was shown playing Truth or Dare in the hot tub and kissing one of the female contestants. It's just amazing how much leeway, how much benefit of the doubt some of the most nefarious, abusive, honestly, men get in the media.
Yeah, so again, don't conflate things. He's got a couple of girlfriends that stay with him. That's called freedom, okay? They have a boyfriend, they don't have a boyfriend. That's their business, not our business, okay? But when somebody has a boyfriend and says, I do not want to have sex with you anymore, and then you force yourself on them, that's called rape, okay? That's called rape under every law, Romanian law, US law, British law, it doesn't matter. And if you think that that's like some sort of, that's being manly, man, you got problems, brother. You got serious problems. So, look, there are people who commit sexual assaults. There are pimps in the world. There are rapists in the world, etc. It's a big planet. That's not the issue. The issue is him being popular and him spreading that idea out to people like, oh, you should treat women with no respect at all, including all the way up to, he said before, it's not like he just got caught. He said a lot of times women who were raped deserved it, right? Had a role in getting raped, okay? So it's not like he was hiding it. They didn't support him despite that. They supported him because of that. So that's the real problem, that unfortunately it is in this case right wing, but any movement, say finding a guy like this, bottom of the barrel, and then promoting it.
And he's a dime a dozen, honestly. I remember in the beginning of my career, one of the public figures that got a lot of attention because he was just like Andrew Tate in his rhetoric, the way he would talk about women. He got permanently banned from Canada because he said that rape should be legalized. That guy Roosh. Do you remember that guy?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And then now he's a born again Christian and like a sure, religious zealot, and no one knows who he is or what he's up to. Just complete loser. I don't know if he, and I don't know if he did anything physically that Tate did. I'm not accusing him of that, but he did get banned from Canada for saying that rape should be legalized. Anyway, just to give you a few more details on what ended up happening with that investigation, it took the police 4 years to finally refer that investigation to the Crown Police.
Jesus.
And then they declined to prosecute, saying the case, quote, did not meet our legal test and there was no realistic prospect of a conviction. By the way, despite Sally having been an eyewitness.
Yeah, if you've got an eyewitness to a rape, you've got a realistic shot at prosecution, okay? Basically what that's saying is whether it's the people making that decision or their estimation of the jury, they're saying, well, if you were part of any sex business ever in your life, you can get raped and no one's gonna convict you. And that is a deeply disturbing message to send out.
And the lack of prosecution allowed for him to go to Romania and allegedly traffic women. And by the way, just to give you a direct quote from Andrew Tate, he has said in the past, quote, "My job was to meet a girl, go on a few dates, sleep with her, test if she's quality, get her to fall in love with me to where she'd do anything I say, and then get her on a webcam so we can become rich together."
But of course, it's not really rich together. He gets rich and she gets beaten, okay?
Yeah.
And so that's the game he played. And I thought we were all supposed to be universally disgusted by human traffickers. And I thought the right wing cared a lot about protecting people from traffickers. But all of a sudden, a lot of the right wing thinks, well, I mean, as long as he's abusing the people we're against, i.e. women, we're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, sexual misconduct and abuse only matters to the right wing when they can weaponize it against their political opponents.
100%.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.